I never want to do that again. All that rebar, all the pea stirrups. This is Simple Living with Biata, and this is our land that we bought to develop and build our dream home and homestead. I have 2 weeks to get ready for concrete. We've got the form boards up, the insulation in, the vapor barrier taped, and I've started the rebar. And after last week's huge mistake, I'm ready to get going and finish up the rebar in the mesh. This is where I left off last week with only 1 row done, and I'm gonna try my best to get as much as I can done with the rebar and the pea stirrups today. Okay, I'm going to tie these sections of rebar together to make sure everything's in the right place. Maybe if I put the pucks in, it'll stop falling over. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I wonder if I could even tape them in place if I need to. Okay, taping them in place was a joke, but I actually think it'll work. In place. The tape is kind of working, but it's also really freaking me out.
If you're new here, you might be wondering what kind of foundation this is. It's a monolithic slab or an engineered floating slab. Unlike other slabs where you have to do your footings, then your foundation walls, and then your slab, this monolithic slab is a 1 pour foundation. That means you only have 1 concrete pour day, but all of these pea stirrups are making this very difficult.
I don't think I've ever been more enraged by anything in this build than I have been with putting these pea stirrups around the rebar. It is so much work. It's hurting my back and it's just so finicky. That's the issue. It would be so much easier if a second person was here. All right, time to get this side done and finish off this last section. I made a mistake. I don't know how I'm supposed to get this rebar onto this side. I feel like as I go, I'm finding more and more efficient ways to do this. It can just be a little frustrating figuring out what those ways are. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh my back. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I need some sort of a jig.
I find you really have to be crafty when you're working alone, like figuring out different ways to make the system work for you. Like these buckets, they're helping me lift the rebar up so I can slide the pea stirrups under. Okay, the second side is almost done.
I am sweating my butt off. And what happens when you sweat your butt off? You lose electrolytes. And that brings us to today's sponsor, Element. Element is a science-backed electrolyte drink with 1,000 milligrams sodium, 60 milligrams magnesium, and 200 milligrams of potassium. For years, I've been getting headaches if I'm not properly hydrated. And I thought my solution was just to drink more water. But the issue was I was overwatering and flushing my electrolytes and not bringing in enough sodium. As soon as I feel one of my dehydration headaches coming on, I take Element and I feel so much better. Element provides energy, reduces or eliminates headaches, helps with muscle fatigue, which I need out here working with this rebar, and helps with sleep. What I love about Element is that there's no BS. There's no gluten, no sugar, and no artificial ingredients. I can't preach this enough. If you're working your body hard, you need electrolytes. Head over to the link in my description. That's drinkelement.com, drinklmnt.com/Biata to get a free sample pack of all of Element's flavors when you place any order. And thank you to Element for sponsoring this week's video. Another day done with rebar. I'm just under halfway done. Hopefully now that I have my groove, I can finish the P-stirrups and the rebar tomorrow. See you then. Good morning. Oh man, I cannot believe how much work this is. Like, wow. I'm hoping I can finish the P-stirrups and the rebar today, but like, man, this is one that's just breaking my back. So time to get back to it. Yesterday, as I was working along, I found a way to be a little bit more efficient by putting the P-stirrups through the rebar and then taping them along the edge like I was doing before, but in a group like that.
That way I can still lift the top row of the rebar up and move the P-stirrups as I go along.
This is taking me forever. So I started about here this morning and worked my way along this ridge, and now I have these 3 sides left to do. And all of that took me 2.5 hours. Oh my goodness. I only have 1 side left and I have 2 hours to do it. What is this time I have? I thought this was gonna take me a lot longer today, which means I have figured out a way to make this more efficient. I'm lying down because my lower back is killing me, so trying to stretch out a little bit. And as I'm going along, I'm trying to sit as much as I can versus like standing and bending over, because that really threw my back out yesterday. Okay, 1 side to go. The last corner. I'm struggling a little bit to get the P-stirrups on the rebar. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm done. I never want to do that again. All that rebar, all the P-stirrups, my back is breaking. I'm so happy it's done. Good morning. So this morning I spent some time redoing the calculations for all my plumbing, and I'm gonna double check them now. I should have done this before I put the insulation and the vapor barrier down. I recognize that. It was silly of me. We're moving on. I know I have to change the kitchen sink vent, and I'm gonna check the rest of them now. I mapped out my bathroom because it wasn't fully making sense. So you walk in through here, there's a sink, there's a toilet, there's a glass wall. You walk in through this way, and there's a shower. And then there's a bathtub. This is the bathtub. So the shower, you can visibly see the drain is not halfway between these 2 walls. And I was measuring it, and my measurements are off. Everything on this side is accurate. I have all of the plumbing laid out. There's about 4, 5 maybe that I'm just gonna adjust before concrete pour.
But for now, I'm gonna start laying down the grids because I don't have all the pieces that I need to fix the plumbing.
Time to start tying them together. All of the mesh needs to overlap by 1 grid section.
And you have to tie the mesh together, and you have to tie it to the P-stirrups and the rebar.
I was really trying to avoid going into town, but I really can't move forward with this until I have all the pipes in the proper places. So time to go get some joiners. With only 2 hours left for my day, I'm gonna fix all of this plumbing. have all of the drains fixed. I'm gonna have to do some spray foam and vapor barrier around them. Only have about 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna start cutting the mesh where the pipes are going. By the way, I tried ordering a guard for my angle grinder and it doesn't fit, so I'm not sure what to do. I can't find the one that came with it. That's it for today. I have to grab a few things to make tomorrow happen and finish off the mesh. Good morning. So today I'm gonna finish the mesh, but first I just need to put, black flies are out. I just need to put vapor barrier around the buckets because I want it to be easier for me to pull the buckets out after the concrete's poured. This one bucket took me like 20 minutes and I'm thinking there's gotta be a more efficient way to do this. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep at it. I also brought some of that shiny bubble wrap that I'm gonna put around some of the pipes, and I might even replace some of the buckets altogether. My friend Katrina just came by and brought me a bunch of garlic. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna plant those today, get them in the ground. I have to get back to it. I'm definitely procrastinating getting all of these buckets wrapped. I have the one side of the house finished, time to do the next. This is actually taking me a lot longer than I wanted, but I still should be able to get everything done today. All of the pipes are wrapped with a vapor barrier and it's time to start putting down the rest of the mesh. I'm officially all out of mesh and I did not finish. I almost made it. This is all I had left to do. Thank you so much for joining me this week of continuing the foundation to get ready for concrete.
If you could do me a huge favor and check below to see if you're subscribed. Subscribing, liking, and commenting are the best ways to support my channel while we build our dream home.
First time in the garden.
All right, guys, see you next week.
Well, I failed inspection because of